Alleged shooter to face committal hearing April 4. A mechanic accused of the 2023 shooting death of 34-year-old Fender Akeem Robinson, which was allegedly captured on CCTV footage, will find out on April 4 whether he has a case to answer. Tyrese Hunter of a Johns Hall address in St. James was given the committal hearing date when he appeared before presiding judge Sasha Marie Smith Ashley at the St. James Parish Court on Tuesday. During the hearing, the judge will examine the evidence presented by the prosecution to determine whether there is enough to warrant moving the case to the circuit court for trial. On Tuesday, during Hunter's court appearance, it was revealed that the prosecution had not yet received the outstanding video footage essential for building their case against the accused. It is understood that someone from the JCF Communications Forensics and Cybercrime Division should have been assigned to complete the preparation of the footage for submission to the case file, but it is unclear whether anyone has been assigned. Judge Smith Ashley subsequently remanded Hunter in police custody until April 4, by which time it is expected that the video footage will be delivered to complete the file. Robinson, originally from Burnt Savannah in St. Elizabeth, was shot and killed on Fleet Avenue in Montego Bay, St. James on the afternoon of November 23, 2023. According to reports, Robinson was sitting on the roadway sometime after 2 p.m. when he was approached by the occupant of a motorcycle, who pulled a gun and opened fire at him. Robinson was shot in the head, following which the gunman escaped on the motorcycle. Robinson was subsequently taken to the Conner Regional Hospital, where he died while being treated. The Montego Bay Criminal Investigations Bureau initiated an investigation using canvassing and CCTV to identify and track down the culprit. As a result, Hunter was apprehended on December 4, and the motorcycle suspected to be connected to the incident was found in his possession. It is also understood that prior to his arrest in this case, Hunter had been granted bail in Western Regional Gun Court in September 2023 in relation to a firearm charge. Following police investigations, another suspect, Adina Barrett, who had previously been arrested in March 2023 for possession of an illegal firearm and ammunition, was arrested and charged with Robinson's murder. However, a bench warrant was issued for his arrest after he failed to appear in court on December 11, 2023. Hopewell High School Burel murder probe widens. Police have widened the probe in the December 23 murder of Hopewell High School's Burel, Jermaine Roberts, who was killed on the school's compound. They are just looking at other aspects that they can tie to, not necessarily the victim, but the shooter involved in terms of forensics and linking the crime scene to other crime scenes, head of the Area 1 Police Division Assistant Commissioner of Police Clifford Chambers told reporters when asked for an update last week. We are awaiting verification of some things, but no one has been charged. There is really nothing much that can be done at this time, just to say the investigations are still taking place, he added. On December 20, Roberts 35 was shot by a gunman as he was about to drive off the school's compound. The principal of the institution, Baron Grant, who was on the outside of the facility at the time of the incident, reportedly smashed into a glass door and sustained injuries as he tried to escape. He was taken to a medical institution for treatment. However, the police took Grant into custody hours after the incident. He was released from custody 2 days later. In a December 27 interview to reporters, head of the Police Corporate Communications Unit, Senior Superintendent Stephanie Lindsay, said Grant remains a person of interest. Also in that month, the police, in a release, said that preliminary inquiries have suggested that the shooting may have been stemmed from interpersonal conflict. JTA President calls for review of funding arrangement for schools. President of the Jamaica Teachers Association, JTA, Leighton Johnson, is urging the Education Ministry to review its funding arrangement for schools. Speaking at the opening of the JTA Education Conference 2024 Tuesday, Mr. Johnson noted that there needs to be equity in the allocation of monies to schools. Mr. Johnson added that schools with internet challenges should receive urgent attention. The JTA president also called for schools to be equipped with smart boards.
It is no secret that some schools need more resources than others, based on the levels of students enrolled and the programs required to make those students functional. Minister, urgent attention must be given to those institutions that do not have consistent and stable internet connectivity, as well as those early childhood and primary schools that need assistance in establishing a constant and reliable network across their compounds so that everybody has access to internet wherever they are on their compounds. There must be an approach to outfit every school at all levels with interactive smart boards, which have proven to enhance the teaching and learning process. Minister, I am confident, and I'm sure you are aware, that our teachers are innovative, creative, and well-trained, with over 10 teacher training institutions in our country. Provide us with the resources and watch our teachers transform education in our country.
Tension easing in Manchester following protests over fatal shooting of man. Within an hour of security and political leaders meeting with angry and concerned residents over the fatal shooting of 24-year-old Jamar Clark by an off-duty police officer last Wednesday, felled trees and debris used to block the main road were cleared, signaling their hope that their ghost will receive attention. The peace meeting on Tuesday stemmed from 5 consecutive days of protests in the South Manchester community of Lanchester, located between Newport and Asia. Residents and relatives of Clark claimed excessive force was used by the police during the incident at Winston Jones High School. We only want to know the police and the higher authority respect us to see what them do to the local youth, stated Clark's father Owen. The slain young man's sister, Richie Ann Newman, said she now fears the police. I am afraid of guns now, and I am afraid of blue uniforms, so I have to be asking questions. We are afraid. We see a police vehicle coming and we're traumatized. I am afraid, and I am one of the siblings who embrace and love the police and soldiers. I wanted to become a police officer. Now I see blue lights and I see my casket, she stated. Expressing anger towards the police during the peace meeting, she questioned the constable's use of force policy. The roadblock was mounted because of the manner in which he died and the financial statement that was released. The committee is asking questions. How is it that someone sways a car at an officer after hitting down people, then bullets were lodged in the front of the vehicle, she asked. Reporters were told that Clark, a Mason and resident of Lanchester District, got into the dispute with men at the fun day at the school. A police source told reporters last week that when the event ended about 8 p.m., it is reported that Clark got into a white Toyota Axio, which he had reportedly rented, and used the vehicle to mow down a 16-year-old student and a 25-year-old man. Sources said one of the victims was flung onto the vehicle during the incident. 2 bikes were also damaged. Further reports are that the off-duty policeman intervened and tried to stop the Axio. Sources said Clark allegedly swerved the vehicle towards the policeman. The cop reportedly opened gunfire on Clark. Clark and the 2 other injured people were taken to hospital, where Clark was pronounced dead while the others were treated. The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom is probing the incident. Opposition Senator Peter Bunting, who was among those in attendance at the peace meeting, said the police should use a guidance approach to regain the trust of the community. There is what I call the warrior approach, where police leave the station and they go out there, and they go on duty to fight crime, and I suspect that the unfortunate reports that we have heard of the behavior of the police who were here speaking to the shopkeepers, that was a kind of warrior approach, he said, while pointing out that the police approach to have a peace meeting was necessary. What you and your team have done here today is what I call the guardian approach to policing. You are guardians of the community. You come here to protect the human rights of every single citizen. The truth of the matter is too many of our citizens only get exposed to the warrior police in policing. They only know that police who come into the overalls with their assault rifles, that does not build trust in the community. What we want is more of the guardian approach. Don't wait until only when an unfortunate incident happened, he added. Bunting, who is also the People's National Party representative for Manchester Southern, called on police and residents to unite. I believe this is the first step, but it can't be the only step. I believe that if the police engage the community like the community will respond in a like manner and we develop that trust. I am making representation on their behalf because we talk about people's right. I think one of the rights of the community has to be grieve the loss of the family members and the community members, he stated. Operations Officer for Manchester Deputy Superintendent Colin Johnson told residents that the fatal shooting is being probed by Indicom and appealed for their cooperation with the police. Following the police reassurance, Owen Clark said he felt reassured to have faith in the justice system. Meanwhile, Johnson said he believed residents will need counseling. Many of you are not aware what the JCF has a community safety and security branch. They are trained and they make the necessary referral to counselors to counsel you in this time of bereavement. What I think is needed now for the community is counseling. We would like to work as a team, stated Johnson. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.